Good morning, you guys. Good morning, and welcome to the Bible Study Studio. My name is Sonia, and I'm your host. And today is day 22 of 90 Days Through the Word. Today is day 22 of 90 Days Through the Word. And we are in the midst of reading the book of Samuel. And we are actually reading Samuel 28 through 2 Samuel 12:10. So we're reading the latter part of 1 Samuel and starting to read the beginning of 2 Samuel. And so yesterday we left off in chapter 28. And today most of our reading is in regards to David and the Philistines and Saul and the Philistines, the death of Samuel, the death of Saul, the death of Abner, who else dies? And the death of Jonathan, and David's sin with Bathsheba. But one of the things, what I wanted to talk to us a little bit about today, because in this reading, we know that David is anointed the king of Israel. And he has the Ark of the Covenant eventually moved to the city of David. We also know that the cart that the ark was on was about to fall, and the person who touched it died instantly. So there's a lot going on in this portion of our reading. One of the things, but I wanted to focus today so we won't have any questions as we move forward in regards to this, because this is really important. I noticed in our reading that David inquired of the Lord often. At least 6 or 7 times it's mentioned in our reading today in this portion of 1 Samuel that David inquired of the Lord. So David sought the Lord in regards to the things that he should do and the things that he should not do. So, getting back to Saul in chapter 28, when prior to Saul's death, he consults a medium, but prior to him consulting a medium, he has all the mediums and diviners kicked out of Israel. He has all of them banned. The magicians, the diviners, and the mediums, he has all of them kicked out. But after Samuel's death, and Samuel's a seer, he's a prophet. So after Samuel's death, the Lord is quiet in regards to Saul. Saul feels like the Lord is quiet in regards to him. And so he disguises himself and seeks a medium to speak to Samuel from the dead. So he does not inquire of the Lord. Even though he feels like the Lord is quiet, he seeks a medium secretly at night and inquires and has a medium talk to Samuel from the dead. He has a medium disturb Samuel's rest. So, what we need to know, and even though we're reading and we're not studying, we need to be aware that our reading, even if we were reading or studying, we need to be aware that the word of the Lord can be read in many. The word of the Lord needs to be read in a certain fashion. We always need to keep in mind that there are texts that are prescriptive. There are statements that are prescriptive. There are statements that are descriptive. And there are statements that are corrective. Okay? So, just not everything that the characters in the Word of God, not everything and anything they do in the Word of God is permissible for us to do. Just because they do them does not mean it is right. And that's why we have to consider whether or not the text is prescriptive. These are instructive texts, and those that give basic fundamental principles that should characterize the behavior of the people of God. Those are prescriptive statements or prescriptive expressions. Descriptive statements, these are texts that narrate examples of practices acceptable and unacceptable. So some are just descriptive, telling us what happened and who it happened to or who did the thing. And then some are corrective, and these are problematic statements dealing with particular problems in regards to Christian communities. Okay, so we always need to keep that in mind as we're reading. So, in order for us to ascertain what's going on with Saul in this medium, we could easily do a keyword search on the word Saul, and we would find every time that the name of Saul is mentioned in the text. We would simply go to Bible Gateway. We would pop in the name of the character we are reading about, which in this case is Saul, and we would soon learn the why in the book of Chronicles of this medium. So, chapter 10, because the Bible will answer the Bible. And so, if we were doing a study, we would see the regards of Saul in regards to this medium. So, 1 Chronicles, chapter 10, verses 13 through 14. So Saul died for his transgressions, which he committed against the Lord, even against the word of the Lord, which he kept not, and also for asking counsel of one that had a familiar spirit to inquire of it. I'm reading out of the King James Version of the text, and a familiar spirit is a medium in other translations. And Saul inquired not of the Lord, therefore he slew him, and turned the kingdom unto David, the son of Jesse. Now remember, I said that at least 6 or 7 times in this portion of the text, David inquired of the Lord. David is always somewhere inquiring of the Lord. So the Lord knows and understands that David has a perspective in regards to what the Lord thinks and or says. So I know that's a lot, and I know we did not go through all of what we normally go through today, but I thought it was important for us to talk about the prescriptive, descriptive, and corrective texts that are in the Holy Word of God. Because just because Samuel consulted a medium does not mean that that is something we should do. But if we were studying, we would learn that. If we were doing a character study, we would learn that in regards to Samuel in the balance of the Holy Word of God. But because we have not gotten there yet today, I want to be sure and help us understand how important it is for us to know these different statements, expressions, which are in the Holy Word of God. So, that is all I have for us today. Tomorrow we will continue our reading in 2 Samuel. We'll be reading 2 Samuel 12:11 through 2 Samuel 22. So we'll have around 10 chapters to read tomorrow, and that's good because tomorrow's Sunday. This is Sonia. Thank you, and have a blessed day in the Lord.